What's good, YouTube? So today we're breaking down the aerial. So the aerial is actually a super easy skill. Fun fact, the first tumbling skill I learned at all, really. It's the first flip I got on the ground, so you don't really need that much experience to do it. The only thing you do need, however, is a solid cartwheel. And when I say solid cartwheel, like, it needs to look like this. Your legs need to be straight, you need to be pushing through your shoulders, you need to make sure it's going into a relatively straight line, and you need to have decent flexibility and understanding of a heel drive going through it. The reason why a cartwheel is so important to this skill is because an aerial is essentially an aggressive cartwheel with more lift into it. And honestly, that's the best way to go about learning it, because otherwise you turn it to all sorts of different flips and make it a lot more complicated than what it really is. But if you put the two skills side by side like this, they literally look identical, other than one is with hands and one's without hands. That's why a lot of people call it aerial a no-handed cartwheel. To do the aerial, you want to make sure that the beginning of the skill is set up properly. The beginning of the skill, for any skill, is the most important part, because the better you set yourself up, the easier it's going to be to go through. And the aerial is one of those skills where if you don't set yourself up well, the whole rest of it is a lot harder than you actually need to be. I don't know why I was all the way over there. Real quick, there's a bunch of different ways to do the aerial depending on what your goals are. I'm going to teach it the way that I find most efficient and easiest to do, and the way that I do most often. So the way that you see in the video is how I'm going to be teaching you to do it. But feel free to kind of take some creative liberties with your arm positions and stuff like that. I think it's best to do with the straight arm. A lot of people think bent arm. It's really up to you. I'm going to teach you the way I think is best. But feel free, if you have any advice for people on what you do and find that works for you, drop it down in the comments below. We're all about learning here, so make sure you do that. Interact with me. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So what we're looking for is when you go to the beginning of the aerial, depending if you're doing it from running or standing, you're going to hurdle. Your arms are going to come up by your ears. This is really important to make sure you keep your chest up, and you want to bring that hurdle leg up just like you would do for a cartwheel. So just like here. Now, when you do the hurdle, you want to kind of keep that hurdle long. So just like a round off, just like a cartwheel, you're going to go here, hurdle, and that hurdle is going to carry you out. Now, if you're a right leg dominant like I am, your right leg's going to go down. You're going to, from here, you're going to shift the weight from the back of your body to the front like this, dip. This is where that dip and lift comes in. So dip, you're going to push off of your leg, lifting your chest up by driving your arms. And I like to think of driving from your top of your hands, using your shoulder as a pivot. That way you get that straight arm drive. Like I said earlier, if you want to do it with bent arms, you would do it from your elbows and kind of elbow drive like that. But I think straight arm is prettier looking, so it's just me. But you'll be here, you're going to dip, lift off. As you lift off, your chest should be up. And from here, your back leg, so for me, my left, is going to be driving up. Now, the hard part about the aerial is that all of this happens at the same time. So literally it's here, you're pushing, you're lifting off, and as soon as you lift off, your arms are driving and your back leg is coming over as you're lifting your chest up and pushing off your legs. So it's like 4 things happening at once. But I promise you, if you practice a solid cartwheel, that should be easy because it's literally the same as a cartwheel. You do the same thing, just more aggressive by lifting your chest up and a more aggressive drive. Going to the middle of the aerial, as you're lifting off, you want to try to spot, and spotting plays a big role in this too because where your head goes, your body's going to follow. So if you're looking straight down, your aerial is probably going to be shorter. You want to think like if I'm standing right here, I'm looking all the way like right here to kind of stretch that aerial out. You want to like visualize where you're going to go. So as you're driving, as you're pushing up and out, driving it out towards the middle, you want to think your back leg, so for me, my left, carry that all the way through. And right here is a good time to practice walkover skills or skills where you have to drive your leg underneath you. For example, a front walkover would be handy to have right here. So you have an understanding of how to bring your foot underneath you. And when I say underneath you, like all the way underneath you. You don't want to do an aerial and stop it like this, because then obviously you'll bust. So when you think going through, push up enough, drive, and then all the way underneath. The point of that is don't stop your back leg. Your back leg is really, really important with this skill. And like I said, it's just like a cartwheel, just more aggressive. Getting to the ending of the aerial, it's literally, I can't stress this enough. It's the same as a cartwheel. You want to drive that foot underneath you, keep your legs kind of tight and locked out, and then pick your chest up. That way you can stand up at the end of it. But this skill is essentially a stronger cartwheel. I'm going to reiterate the big differences between the aerial and the cartwheel that you need to make sure you have down and understand that with what you're changing in order to actually do the aerial successful. So follow along real quick. When doing the aerial, the difference in the beginning is when you're coming off, you're going to dip and lift up from this leg, your dominant leg, a lot harder than you would a cartwheel. So if a cartwheel is going up and out this way to stretch out, an aerial will probably be through here. That way you have a little bit more lift and have a lot more force that you're able to generate with your back leg. So as you're here, you're pushing up and out, you're standing up, you're driving your arms back, you're driving your back leg over, and the whole time you're continuing to lift up. If you're jumping down and your aerial is kind of going like an N shape, like up and down like a mountain, and you're dropping your weight through into the floor, you want to try to stretch that out more. So instead of going more like this, where it's more in one spot, you want to bring that out to where you can shift that weight through the entirety of the skill. Now, I'm going to cover more of these topics in my tips and tricks video that's going to be out tomorrow. So make sure you keep your eye out for that. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like on this video if you liked it. That way you never miss an upload and I have your support. But if that's your issue in the aerial, then you really make sure, like I said, you have a stronger cartwheel and you work on that cartwheel. I literally cannot stress enough how important a cartwheel is to an aerial. You really need to have a good cartwheel to do this, or a decent cartwheel at least. Actually, you just need to have a strong cartwheel that looks good. And then yeah, you have an aerial. It's super easy, I promise. Don't overthink it. If you're having problems flipping through the skill, you're overthinking it. It's straight up a cartwheel, I promise you. The only things that are different is the things I told you to do different in the beginning. It's the dip and lift, getting that foot in front of you, keeping that chest up, pushing off of your foot, keeping your chest up still, driving your arms back behind you, straight arms if you want to be like me, bent arms if you want to be different, I don't care. I think straight arms look better, so keep that in mind, whatever. And then drive that back leg through. Make sure you drive that back leg as hard as you can, all the way underneath you, just like a walkover skill. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all there is to the aerial, like I said. But like I said though, if you're struggling with it still, and I didn't explain it well enough for you in this tutorial, make sure you keep an eye out for my tips and tricks video where I go over a bunch of different ways that you can practice the aerial to make it make sense to you. It's really important that you guys understand how to do the skill before actually trying it. So keep a lookout, that'll be posted tomorrow. But feel free to tag me in any videos if you want to upload them to YouTube. Tag me in them. I'll definitely watch them, give a look, tell you what you're doing wrong. If you want to follow me on Instagram and send me videos there I can review and tell you what's going on, it's @WillCanFly. The link will be down in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, you guys, make sure you leave a like down below for me to show your support. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn those post notes on so you never miss an upload. And make sure you leave a comment, man. You guys don't interact enough. I gotta get some feedback from y'all, come on. We're almost at 100 subs, so 100 subs, we'll do 100 backflips until I throw up, so make sure you do that. That'll be fun to see, I think, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out, you guys. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. As always, I will see you in the next video. Until then, I'm out.